Okay. Who's gonna do the intro?
I think it should be anyone but Cam, since Cam's like the
Yes,
special guest.
Yeah,
I'm the
I
special
did the
guest.
intro last time, so I'm done.
Adrian,
Oh,
your
wait.
turn. You gotta do the intro, bro. You know what? Let's Clara.
I can do the intro.
Clara, do the intro.
What the heck? No, the guest never does the intro.
You are not the guest.
That's what I was saying.
Cam is the guest. You're an extension of Cam.
What the heck?
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
makes no sense,
Do the intro,
Pablo.
Adrian. Do the intro, Adrian.
Okay. Do you know what episode this is? Is there an account?
Season 3, episode 2, I
Wait,
think.
wait.
2 or 3. Something like that.
Alright.
Episode 3.
Episode.
Episode 3. Yeah, season 3, episode 3.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, ready.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperless Podcast, Season 3, Episode 3, with your 3 favorite hosts. My name is Adrian. Here I have Pablo.
Hey.
Pablo.
Hello.
And Curtis.
Hello, welcome.
Gang's all here, but we have somebody special, a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, Cameron?
Yeah, I'm Cam. I'm so glad to finally be on this podcast for the first time ever as a guest. This is wonderful. Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Cam, better known as Napalm Slurpee on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
You may have heard of him.
Also, we have Clara. Do not forget Clara.
Oh,
Hey
I guess.
guys.
This is my girlfriend, Clara. I want to say hi, Clara.
Hi.
He's head of human resources over at Napalm Slurpee.
Yeah,
So,
I manage Cameron's account.
Yeah, it keeps me from saying some unhinged stuff in my stories. She really holds the account together.
You know what I remember right now that you said that? The NAD thing from the story that you posted.
Oh, yeah, that one
Yeah,
that I
that
took
one.
down very briefly.
Yeah.
It was up for like 2 minutes.
I was so tempted to post that on my account. Just to like see what Anna would
I'm
say.
sure one of these days I'll make a good Anna D joke and it'll go on the story and stay there. But until then, I think I'll
Oh
post them
my
for
God.
3 minutes and take them down immediately after.
Well, I
Right.
mean, you didn't take them down fast enough because clearly someone already screenshot it. So
Yeah, only 2 people saw it. It was Lucas and Cody Davis, and then Lucas got a screenshot of it. So.
Cody Davis. Oh, we gotta invite Cody Davis here. Like, I wanna ask him, bro, where the fuck do you get that much money?
You see, the thing about American culture is that we usually don't talk about things like where people get money from and how much money they have.
For real?
Maybe it's different in Mexico.
No
but
way. Like,
it's a
here
sensitive
people
topic.
do not fucking care. Yeah, here people do not
Hey,
like
you
that.
can say what you want, but maybe you should invite him on for other reasons and where
Okay,
he
like,
gets all of his money.
I wanna ask him, like, why he likes Fontaine and shit like that. Alright, but we are not
That's something
talking
that I'll
about...
never understand.
well, this is not the Cody episode.
Yeah, it's the
Cam
Cameron
so
episode.
get back on track, Pablo.
Yeah, my bad. Cam, can you like introduce yourself as a card person, not just as Cameron?
Did you just freaking plagiarize? You could at least like twist up the words instead of as a
Oh
card.
my
person.
god,
How's your
bro.
card career? Cam?
Okay, how's your
How'd you
card
get started?
career?
Let's just say.
All right, so I'll introduce myself as a card person. So my Instagram is at Napalm Slurpee, one word on Instagram. That's where you'll find all my cardistry stuff, and recently a magic illusion. And I guess I've been doing card stuff since I was probably about 7 or 8. Started doing magic tricks when I was 5, and then once my hands got big enough, I started doing card tricks. And then sometime in high school, I realized that extreme card manipulation was pretty cool. So I gave that a go. And then found out a whole bunch of other people did that online. Started learning some artistry moves from The Wire. Didn't have any money for the trilogy, so I did not buy that. And then I just sort of met people online, introduced by one of our hosts, Adrian Lopez, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. And so, how old are you now?
I'm 20 something, and
You're 24.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And
That's nearly
Well,
2 decades.
basically 2
decades of
decades of cards, which is just crazy.
That's crazy.
I've had a deck of cards in my pocket for majority of my life, which is pretty cool.
I think that you've been doing cards more than me. I've been playing with cards for like 15 years, 14. Like almost 2 decades is crazy. That's like almost Kevin Ho level.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about how much cards have an effect on our lives, you know.
Yeah.
It's what ties us all together. That's why we're all here. And why you, the viewer, question mark, are listening to this. So moving on. You weren't always Napalm Slurpee, I believe, right?
Yes.
No, I wasn't. I guess my first official cardistry page was advanced fidget spinning.
Oh, I
heard someone make a
remember
joke.
that, bro.
I completely forgot that was a thing.
Yeah,
Holy
you
crap.
DM'd me before I knew who you were. I remember that username.
That was 2018, 2019, somewhere in there.
I do not remember what you DM'd to me, but I do recall someone called with that username, like sending me something.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Those
probably
were the good days.
like you asking for a specific render or some shit like that. I don't know, but it was.
I probably asked about your process because I sort of wanted to learn playing card design. I've always liked like art and graphic design in high school, and I wanted to learn how to design playing cards just through experimentation and teaching myself. So I first started learning playing card design by doing these like playing card mashups that everyone
Bro, that
loved
one did.
previously so
Yeah.
much. So they were done to hell by people like me. So I sort of learned Illustrator by playing around with other people's playing card designs, twisting them, combining them, warping them, whatever. And I probably reached out to you, asked how you achieved the look. You were a big inspiration for me, graphically speaking, from your Instagram posts. So it was kind of cool when one day Adrian took me and dropped me in a group chat and you were in there. And I learned that you were just like some Mexican guy, not some like god.
Yeah, that happens. It happened to me when I met I want to say like Kevin, because like like when you grow up watching the birds like artistry, like Kevin Ho, you're on low, all the birds are like peak. Once you met them, it's like, oh, it's chill. Same thing with Patrick Barnabas. I remember meeting him and he was really, really chill.
He was so chill.
Patrick.
Remember the first time I met him was at Cardistry Con in San Diego. Everyone was, first it was Aslan walked up to me and go, hey, you look kind of like Patrick. And I never made that connection myself.
You look a lot like Patrick.
Cam is the #1 Patrick cosplayer,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, I guess I'm just cosplaying him because I think over the course of the con, like 9 people told me I look like Patrick, just walked up to me. So then I, of course, go up to Patrick and the first thing he says to me is, hey, people say I look like you. And I think that was pretty funny of him. Yeah, he's a very chill guy. We just talked and showed each other moves and he's just a normal dude, chill dude.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah, it's surreal meeting your idols like at Cardistry Con. It's these guys that you've been looking at on your Instagram for years and years.
Yeah.
And then you go to a convention and this motherfucker is just eating a bagel. I'm like, damn, he's just like me,
I met Alexander Hansford once on a con in Mexico.
God.
And bro, he was like the only guy that worried about me because I had a tummy ache. I was like, okay guys, I gotta go. I have a tummy ache. He was like, "Oh, are you alright? Do you want anything?" I was like, "No, thank you." But like, I still remember him. Like, bro, he's like that good of a dude, you know.
What a guy.
He
I had
worried
a
about the random
terrible
ass people, bro.
I got a terrible experience meeting Alex. It's so awkward.
Yeah, I heard.
Why?
I was such a
Did you care to
fanboy.
explain?
Alex is one of the best. I would put him in my top 10 side of hand artists ever. He's just so
Yeah,
smooth. His routines are just insanely choreographed. He's sexy, like he's got it all. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And at the time, I was a big fan of obviously his stuff and the Neat Review. And when I was in CardistryCon San Diego, I just happened to see him and the rest of the gang, like Fatty and Benjamin Pratt. And I walk up to him and I'm freaking out. I don't know what to say, but I say hi, introduce myself, say I'm a big fan. And he gives me his book, one of the books that he was like releasing at the time. And it's a really boring book. I don't even know what it's about. It's not tricks. It's about like,
oh fuck me.
it's about scripting and choreograph. It's not even that. I don't even know what it's about.
So ass. So bad. It's so bad.
I don't even want to say the name of the book, but
Yeah.
That's why always giving it out to random people for free because no one wants to buy it.
He was?
and
No way.
no, he wasn't. He was just
Oh,
like, oh, look
okay.
at the
Oh,
book.
okay, my bad.
And I'm like, cool. And I just hand it back. And then he actually gave me his the deck that he was using at the time because I asked him if I could buy it. It was the armors, the ones with the faces on
Oh.
the back,
Yeah. Those are cool.
like the literal faces.
Yeah, I regret
Um,
not getting those because those actually look cool.
They're still
So
on sale.
Yeah, but
yeah,
not on sell. He's still selling
Yeah,
them, but
he's
they
just selling
won't
them.
sell. Yeah.
but it was just a very awkward hello. And he gave me his cards, and he's actually like, "Oh, you can bring these back, and I'll bring some tomorrow for sale." And I'm like, "Cool." And I just had him in my pocket the whole con, right? And then I brought them back. He's like, "Oh, you can keep them." And I'm like, "Wow, this guy's the best guy ever." But when the second time I went to give him back his cards, he was showing people some moves, right? And this move specifically, it was an overhand shuffle that I was actually learning at the time because it was in his newest book, Often Really That Simple.
Oh,
And
it was the thing where you were filming, and he said like, "Can you stop filming?"
so I started recording him.
It was
'cause
that.
and then
My god.
Harapan is right there, Harapan. And then Sprat was there, and the gang's all here, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" And look, he's doing the move. And then as soon as he finishes the shuffle, he looks back at the camera and he goes, "Hey man, could you delete that?" And I'm like, "Oh." And it's just such an awkward moment.
But why would he
because-
tell you to delete that? It's such a cool move.
Because he's the type of magician. There's this like subcategory of magicians that are very private about their moves, and they only want them to be seen in live performances. They don't want them to be like out on film and in the world of the internet floating around.
Those are both.
It's-
I
they
also
wanna-
want to note though is that it's not even his move. It's a very, very common false shuffle.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I just find it
It's a
weird
lip
that
shuffle.
he keep it. Yeah.
yeah. But
Sounds
he has
kind
his
of
own.
pretentious.
He has his own, yeah. I would say he's a bit of an elitist, but he can kind of he can talk the talk and walk the walk. So I'll let it happen.
I
But
guess-
anyways.
That's part
Um,
of being an elitist is talking the talk and walking the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess
He's
he
that
gets the
guy.
pass.
So
he's that guy.
He's actually that
Oh,
guy. So
But it was still very awkward, and I was just so excited to meet him. I was like interrupting him because I wanted to talk to him, but he was talking with like the other top dogs. And
Oh,
felt
I
really
hate
out of
when
place.
people do that. I fucking hate when people do that. Like not
Me
interrupting,
too.
but like I hate when like for example, like when someone invited me to a con, I was like big at that time. Now I'm relevant. But yeah, like I remember I was talking with like the other people, like Gears, Patrick, Kevin, and so on, and people were coming to us, and some of the people like did not want to talk to them. I was like, just talk to them, like they are people.
Yeah, it was hard for me because it's like it's such a I didn't even know he was gonna be there, right? And then it's this guy that I think he's like so great and so cool, and I let my excitement get the best of me. It was awkward, but we live another day. And he actually signed the deck, the armors. He signed it. He gave it back to me. I still have it in my collection. So
Nice.
it's kind of bittersweet. You know,
You
I did
had a
have a
happy
moment, but it got But hopefully, when I go to his lectures next time, he doesn't like, you know,
Okay, Kev,
Tell-
I have
tell
a
me to
question
fuck off. I'm
that
pretty sure.
is actually one of the questions we have, but I had this question before. What the fuck is Napalm Slurpee?
So it took me a while to come up with a username. I don't like everyone else's usernames on Instagram because they're usually just like their first name shortened to a few letters, followed by their
Cards.
last name,
Look,
or
it's
their
magic.
their first name followed by a last name shortened to just a few letters, or some variation of their name. I wanted
Okay,
something
buddy.
just like wild and out there. So I
Pepe is a profile pic.
right. Well, it's me on the inside
Oh,
instead of
right,
me on the
right.
outside.
Yeah.
That's Apu, by the way. Doesn't matter. And remember, I was sitting in my car driving for quite some time. And I came up with an even better username than that one, but I immediately forgot it because I was driving, so I didn't write it down. And when I got home, I was pissed because I forgot it. So I sat there thinking of a bunch of other names, and then I remembered napalm. Apparently, it's a type of like not necessarily
Gas.
explosive, but a
Yeah,
highly
it's like-
combustible
Yeah, liquid.
substance. Yeah, and it's the consistency of a slushy, so it's described as. So of course, the name Napalm Slurpee came to be, and I think it's fitting.
Iconic. You should add that name to like the next deck, you know? Like, you know how Jan has like Wojang Fat on the side? You should do the same with Napalm Slurpee. Instead of,
Oh yeah, he has it on the pocket knives.
yeah, on the pocket knives.
I might do that, maybe. We'll see. I have ideas.
Right.
Who knows if there even is going to be another deck? I want there to be, but we'll see.
No,
We drove it.
before Napalm Slurpee, there was Can You Something, right?
And you
And-
something, that's right. So I've had
Yeah.
3 cardistry names.
Before, I don't want to talk about the username as much as the content. Specifically, there was this picture you posted where it was these anyone mock-ups. It was like these anyone combination, you know, these pseudo decks, if you will.
Yeah.
And one of them was actually the Houndstooth, which anyone later went on to print. So
No
I just
way.
kind of
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I remember doing, as a part of my exercise, I would take other people's decks and mutate them. So one of them was a knockoff anyone deck, and it was a series. It was their first 3 decks that I created. Like if someone wanted to copy it without violating any sort of trademark or copyright that they may have over shapes or whatever, and then they would print these decks. One of them was it was dots, but instead of it being a circle, it was a square. The other one were their OG black logos that said anybody instead of anyone. And the checkerboard one, it was Houndstooth pattern instead. And then a few months later, they released the actual Houndstooth or they posted the photo and they released those a few months later or whatever. And I found that to be pretty funny.
Like, honestly, there is a chance that YS or no, or someone saw the post.
Yeah, it was one of my most liked posts. It got like
Yeah.
over 1,000 likes for an account
Yeah,
that had
they-
maybe like 100 followers.
They for sure saw it.
There's certainly a non-zero chance that they saw it and ran with it.
Yeah.
But now, if you take a look at anyone's catalog, you'll see there's kind of the expected ones. There's red checkerboards, there's blue checkerboards, but then out of the blue, they pulled out something like the multicolored checkerboards, or, you know, just one of the more abstract ones, like the gray on gray dots. Do you think it's a good practice for brands to kind of deliver some staple decks before they branch out onto crazy stuff, or do you think it's a good idea to just go straight into the crazy? Say instead of red checks, they jump straight to the multicolored checks, or after the red dots, they did the gray on gray.
Now, my opinion is certainly different from Clara sitting next to me. My opinion is that I think people should. I think the world benefits, or the community, whatever you want to call it, benefits from creativity and abstract designs and new concepts. So I like to see those as opposed to more safe decks.
Safe
So
is
we
a
have
good
some-
word.
What's that?
Safe is a good word on how to describe, you know, the classic
Yeah.
decks, if you will.
Predictable.
Yeah.
Predictable is such a good word though, because when anyone came out with those dots and then it was a green dot and Cam went insane for it, I was like, Cameron, what? Why are you so insane for this? They had a red one, they already had a gray one. What the
black
heck? They had one
one,
that was
yeah.
like a bathroom tile wall. Like, I dissed them so hard and I feel bad, but I mean, it's just.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't
I
get
mean-
it.
Well, okay.
Here's the thing,
That there
Clara.
are like. No, wait, Pablo, wait. Here, let me
Let's
listen.
Okay.
I get
Let
that
her
there's
cook.
like a finish on the cards that makes it smooth and easy to like manipulate, whatever. And I get that it's a brand name, and I get that you can do it in the forest or something and make it a theme kind of thing, or that they're just really cool and popular. But what I don't get is the predictability and the familiarity that it was disappointing when they came out with that. I'm gonna be honest. It was very disappointing. And I was not happy with it.
What's your favorite anyone deck, Clara?
My favorite anyone deck?
Yeah.
Oh, what did I tell you? It wasn't dots. I know it wasn't dots.
It's
I was
Alright,
not.
so you're already
Well,
wrong.
multi-checks because shockers.
Yeah, Clara's not like multi-checks.
Yeah, I don't like the multi-check.
Yeah,
either.
that's the
Wow.
worst one. Honestly, that's like the
Yeah,
worst
that was
anyone there.
bad.
Do you like the checkerboards though?
Okay,
Maybe-
that one's
maybe-
okay.
Maybe the spiral
But-
one, the headlong.
Do you
Headlong is
remember
hard.
the one that was a crescent moon and it looked like a Shrek
Oh, the-
bathroom porta potty?
Oh, that's
That's
midnight.
an insane.
Yeah,
That's an insane way of describing them.
Yeah, midnight
That's-
checks.
that's what I think. Well,
I
okay,
mean
fine.
midnight dots.
Bathroom tile.
Bathroom tile.
Bro, the midnight checks are hard. What are you on about? That's like one of the hardest ones. Like, here's the thing. Like, in my opinion, like, I love like weird ass decks. Like, I do not like the classic like decks that you will see everywhere. That's why dots are one of my favorite decks, because like they are like taking the slicer of movement that is like going to like one way to like the simplest form that is literally a dot in one side of the cards, you know, and you do a move and it shows how the cards move. So with the bathroom tiles checks, like I like the fact that it looks, you know, it's a checkerboard pattern, but it's like the peak of simplicity when it comes to a checkerboard pattern, you know, everything is the same color.
Yeah, I
And
can
you-
see that. for
And
sure.
you only know that it's a checkerboard pattern because it has the lines.
Okay. I can see that. I can see the dots because, yeah, that's a good point. But why don't they do something more interesting, like a bird or something?
A bird.
Or like an animal that moves.
Bird
Like, because a bird
ponytail.
would fly, and you could do like that.
Because
what is
that's
that called, like an
complex.
angel move?
because that
You do like
doing a bird is something complex. It is like, for
They're
example,
all from
the
but I mean like a really small bird, like one
Yeah,
of those
but
like
the
you know
shape-
how people do tattoos, stick and poke tattoos.
Yeah,
like a stick
but
and poke.
here's the thing,
Bird
right?
tattoo?
The shape of a bird is still too busy, because like, for example, Kevin did aerodynamics. It's literally like an arrow, you know. It's
Okay.
people try to take the concept and make it into the simplest things, because if not, you are going to end up with like something. I'm trying to think about an ugly ass deck that I have, but I don't know. You end up with something that looks like a standard rider back. It's not that good,
Okay.
you know.
Well,
Okay.
to go back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go back to the original question, I would say
wanna-
I like.
I'm sorry. I had to pop off. I did.
No, yeah,
Sorry.
you're good.
Go
You're
ahead.
good. You're good. You're good.
You're welcome. But the reason I think like, a lot of this is obviously a niche subculture, right? It's maybe less than a million, less than 500. Let's just say 100,000 cards all over the world, right? For the sake of sales, since you already have something that's going to reach a limited amount of people, I think you have to play it safe with the predictable decks for you to keep the company moving. So I think it's more of like a sales and collector and safe. Everybody's going to like this, so we'll have money to continue the brand, versus them just not wanting to experiment, because when they do weird stuff, they've done it, right? But
this might be asking for. Oh wait, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that you need to have those blue checkerboards. You need to have the reprints of the decks that everybody buys, so that you have money to spend on doing the weirder stuff.
Yeah.
In case that doesn't sell or perform as well, which it won't, because it never does, because it's weird. But
It really depends on the audience, because like I have seen weird ass decks sold out. And
oh,
then-
for sure.
So yeah. it
But
really
in,
depends
but
on
in,
the
in general,
audience.
like as a business move, for sure, it's a blue checkerboard is going to sell way more than a gray circle on a different shade of gray background.
But here's the thing. Wait. Okay. Here's the thing. They had to just change the color of the dots and the background, and they were finished.
Yeah.
And they still got the same amount. And so why don't they just make another deck along with it and have 2 decks sold out at once? So then they have a safety net and then a regular one. That is
True.
crazy.
Because supply and demand.
You know.
If you print too many decks, you are gonna have stock for a long time, and you're going to
As we've
probably
seen with other brands, they print too many decks.
Yeah, for example,
Yeah.
Anthony Channot on his hand shields, he's basically giving them away for free. Like he's selling a brick for like what, like fucking $15. That's barely like printing cost.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
You
Yeah, so
They get back.
talked about your card being cut in half, right? You were talking about
That's up to their questions. I'm gonna answer the
Okay,
original
okay.
question here.
We're talking about
I-
Right.
Wait, what?
No,
have a lot of stuff
like
to talk
cutting the
I'm
deck,
so sorry.
cutting the deck in half is a later on
Can
thing.
an outline
Yeah,
be
it's a
like
later
sent
on
out
thing.
to everybody next time?
No, yeah, he
Let
did,
me-
but then he specifically ended it by saying, "Cam, do not read this outline." So I do not read it because I respect Curtis and his decision.
Thank you for respecting my wishes, because we don't.
Yes,
we
you're
gotta keep our
welcome.
guests on the tip of their toes. So
Yeah, I don't know what's
Anyways.
coming.
back
So
to
to
back
answer the
to-
question, if anyone will let me finish,
I'm sorry.
I would
Yeah.
appreciate
I'm
it.
sorry.
Go on.
I like weird abstract designs. Is it good for a brand to start with it? Is it a strong opener? It depends if you want to run it as a business or as a hobby.
Yeah.
If you're doing it as a hobby, I would say start strong. And it shows that you can run it as a business, or at least some sort of way to generate side revenue. With like YGH, they came out right out of the gate with pocket knives. They're a controversial deck. But they're on what? They just made their 5th, 6th deck. And people still like them.
They are selling out. Yeah.
So
that goes to show you how the market is bored from like very simple like stuff, you know, like fontaines.
Right. Market does not like fontaines.
Yeah, the new weirds, they are like also not it. And so many one decks. But yeah.
Taking a step back.
Your favorite anyone deck? Claire's
No,
favorite.
Fontaine, not anyone.
Yeah, Claire does not actually have a favorite anyone deck. I think she's still salty about the green dots. So her favorite anyone deck are SpongeBob Fontaines.
Good choice.
Yeah, good choice for a layman. Yeah.
But taking a step back regarding brands, Cam, you have your own brand, as we all know. Redacted USA.
Wait. Before we get into that, I want to actually talk about the singles, the Lotus in Hand singles.
Okay, sure.
Well, here's the thing. The outline, it doesn't have to be like that. It's
I know.
And my question falls better.
Oh my
talking about some cardistry content.
Oh my
God. No. I would love to talk about the Lotus in Hand single. I got a lot of popularity for it. People still talk about it. So let's.
Yeah, I actually want to know about that because to this day I don't know why you fumbled it back.
Because he was studying.
Okay, I will clear the air. So here's what happened from my perspective for the Lotus in Hand singles, right? My thought was this. I'm like, okay, I have a move that I've been sitting on for a while. I could post it. I could use the Lotus in Hand singles hashtag to get a lot of popularity because a lot of people are looking at the hashtag, and the post will gain a lot of traction. There's so many good cards that entered. There's no way in hell I'm getting in. I'll just post it, get some followers, and I'll call it a day. And then, a few days later, I see I'm up against Dobby. I actually made it in, and that was not expected. I did not expect to get in. I did not expect to be up against Dobby. And what I certainly didn't expect was I talked with Lars at the Square Up Midwest Cardistry Jam. Shout out Square Up. They're doing everything right. And he said that Daniel actually, when he was ranking all the entries, mine was ranked the highest in terms of his standards, which is why he put me up against Dobby, I guess. So that was unexpected. I did not think a little 2-packet move was that good, but a lot of people did. And then basically I had to come up with some moves on the fly while I was also preparing to go into my final semester of school, which was set to be my busiest, and certainly was. And one of the entries happened while I was in that semester. The first one, I came up with a move. Wasn't great. The last one, Control Z, was an admission of my mistakes, if anyone could read into it. First of all, the name Control Z. What do you do when you make a mistake on your computer? What do you hit? You hit Control Z. Yeah. And I literally threw a pack in the air, which was symbolizing me throwing the comp. And so I had no time for it. And I certainly did not have any moves prepared. I did not expect to get in. Didn't expect to like my little move that much. But that's what happened. And it's in the past. We're moving on. We're growing. I'm still recovering mentally and emotionally from it.
I do want to say you were very stressed out. We were supposed to hang out or watch a movie together while you were in Platteville and I was in Alverno. And he just couldn't because he was so focused on making a move and he got so frustrated. I felt so bad for you. I was like, poor BB.
Yeah, my girlfriend feels bad for me. But I put myself under that. I'm not a person for competition that makes moves quickly. I don't even make very many moves. I'm still new to this whole move creation process. So I certainly went way over my head, even putting myself down as a contender. But yeah, what was that?
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense now. It all actually makes sense. You had potential.
But
Honestly, I was rooting
there-
for you, but it is what it is.
Was there a specific rule that actually didn't allow you to post old moves, or was it only new moves?
No, there was no rule. I just thought that would be a scummy thing to do.
You could have posted.
Someone did. I was actually up against
so
someone. I was up against someone that did post an old move, but they just changed like the last bit of it to like the closer. There was no rule against it. I just, if I were smart, I would have done that, but I just didn't feel like doing that.
Yeah, but honestly, your previous account was already wiped, so at that point, no one would.
That is a good point.
know.
No one had actually seen some moves I was holding on to, so I could have gotten away with it. But in all honesty, if I did get into the finals during that year during that semester of school, I was looking ahead into the future. I knew I had no time for it. It was my final year. I had a final project to work on, sort of my capstone and all that stuff. I think I had like 16 or 17 credits. It was a lot on my plate.
yeah. It makes sense. I was rooting for you.
I appreciate it, Pablo. I'm sorry I let you down.
It is what it is. You learn to forget and forgive. But yeah, no.
I'll come back. I just gotta apologize.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, he's not listening to this.
Oh, okay.
But if
okay.
Daniel, if you're listening to this, sorry, bro. I made a mockery of your competition. Such a fool, coward. What is the term? Flagellate? Is that where you like whip yourself? I emotionally flagellate myself every day for making a mockery of your singles competition.
Oh my god. Okay, so now we can actually talk about Redacted. Okay, you can ask.
Wow, what a smooth transition. That makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes I wonder why Pablo's the host. I think it should be Adrian at times.
I'm not the host.
Especially after that intro.
I'm just the
He's the
production.
talent curator. He's
Yeah.
nothing.
I'm the guy that gets the people.
Anyways, talking about brands like Lotus in Hand and anyone, you have your own brand, don't you, Cam?
I certainly do. Yes, I just recently started Redacted USA.
Redacted.
Yeah.
Why Redacted? Tell us about why you chose the name USA.
Well, I think everyone inside them likes wondering what's going on. And people in the USA, we know that there's some shady stuff goes on in the government, and everyone has at least one conspiracy theory that they're into.
That is true.
We all love wondering, hey, what are they hiding? What are the people that run the world? What are they doing? What are they up to? Are they even people? Are they aliens? Are they lizards? Who knows? But Redacted is sort of it's what they're hiding, what they don't want us to see. They redact things in documents that aren't allowed for the public. It's stuff that goes on secret, and that's sort of part of my personality that I sort of like artistically. I want to put that out there. That everyone likes it. Everyone has a theory about something, but it's not things people talk about because everyone's afraid that people are gonna think you're crazy. But in reality, everyone has a theory. I think you're more crazy to not have sort of theories floating around in your head. So I just think it's fun to talk about. It's got cool aesthetics in my opinion. And
like the thing that I like about your brand is that you have quite the room to pick and choose stuff related to it. There's the first one you did is the MK Ultra, and when I first saw it, I did not knew what the fuck MK Ultra was, and because I saw your deck, I was just like, I'm gonna search that and to see what is that about. So you have a lot of room to choose the team.
There's a lot of stuff that
stuff.
once you start going down that rabbit hole, as people say, you uncover a lot of things, and it's fun to learn. It's fun to learn history and secretive stuff. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
Yeah. What do you think that makes Redacted different from like all the other brands out there?
Well,
What's
I
like
try
your
to separate myself
signature?
just because one of the things that always irks me. Now, this isn't so much a product gripe that I have, but it's more of a branding gripe. Is that giveaways have always been so boring.
Oh,
And I love games. I love playing games. I love game theory. And when people do giveaways, they're so dull. Everyone does them all the exact same. So I'll always tag 3 friends in the comments, and then we'll randomly pick someone, and we'll send them a free deck or a free brick or whatever it may be. And I want to make it more fun, more engaging with people, more thematic even, tied together to the larger product at hand. And in terms of interaction with people and potential customers, even though I don't really see Cardis as customers so much, I want it to be more interactive.
yeah, the giveaway
That
was really good.
I
Like,
also don't want to release a deck that's ever safe. We talked about that before, but I because I'm not running this as a business, I'm running this as just a hobby project and a way to be creative. Clara said an expensive hobby, but that's because she's broke.
I'm in an internship, okay?
She is in an unpaid internship, so she doesn't know what it's like to make money yet.
Yeah, bro.
Because
Okay.
I'm doing this for fun, I'm doing this as a hobby, I'm doing this as a creative expression. I don't ever see myself making a safe that's purely there to like generate money for
a
something.
very expensive hobby.
I mean, okay, he's right. Printing decks are not cheap,
Yeah,
but
I know.
No, I have. So, can you give like a 1 or 2 cent summary of how the giveaway works, just for the viewers? Because it's already
yeah,
passed.
Yeah.
I suppose people that
Maybe
weren't
they're
tuned in-
they're viewing something. Maybe they're
Oh.
viewing
The
the
YouTube
bar.
video. The YouTube video. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, go ahead. Cam.
So along with the release of MK Ultra playing cards now available on www.redactedusa.com, I did a giveaway that was officially titled Push the Button, where it was similar to a standard giveaway where you would basically submit an entry and then one entry gets pulled to win some amount of cards. The twist was that up for grabs initially was 1 gross of playing cards, which is 144 decks of cards, which is a very large amount, much more than the typical giveaway. Now, the engagement part of it was when you went to submit your entry, you could choose whether or not to play by the original rules, which is 1 person gets 1 entry, or you could almost sabotage and get 5 entries with the caveat that 5% of the total stock is removed. It is deleted, wiped from existence. So then everyone playing would then get, or whoever would win would get 5% fewer decks. So as people continue to push the button, i.e. get 5 entries and delete 5%, then the stock goes down, 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 down. So it's sort of a trade-off as to whether or not you want to play fair and potentially win more, or skew the odds in your favor and win less. I know it's a lot longer than 1 or 2 sentences, but
Yeah.
that's sort of the fun engagement that I want to bring to giveaways, and maybe hopefully lead other people down similar paths and make it more enjoyable and interesting.
Interactive. Yeah. Instead of just like
Yeah.
the classic post a move and we will choose one, or like tag your friends.
Right.
And shit like that. Yeah. There's something
Now,
different.
the reason I brought it up is because I may have been one of the people who did push the button, right? And I got a potentially word on the street, but I believe that those who pushed the button, they received a very degrading message regarding.
Oh
I've
yeah.
heard-
It was
maybe
really surprising. You found out the true nature of people. When you saw their usernames, you're like, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, I did give Clara insight onto who pushed the button, who did not.
Oh, honestly, I
Very
did. I did with like 2-3 accounts. I don't care. I just wanted that.
Oh my
All
God.
greedy mofos.
Yeah,
greedy.
yeah. I'm Mexican, bro. I'm greedy. It's in my
No.
blood.
Let's ignore
What
that.
The reason I brought this up is because I've noticed that you have a very ironic, very dry sense of humor, much like a lot of us. And some of it seems to bleed into the ad copy and into
Oh,
the brand
yeah.
messages.
I fucking
So,
love the
I-
ad
I-
copy.
I forget that.
So
I
my main
love
question
it.
my main question is what's kind of your rule or what's your approach when you're typing up stuff for the brand, because some of it feels like Cam, right? But some of it feels like the brand Redacted. If you think about the philosophy of the brand, it's, you know, this governmental, paranoid, just kind of, you know, what you just described. But then Cam, you know, very often the
Very
opposite of that,
sarcastic.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly, right. So
Right.
when you get what the ad copy, it gives us both. Right? And I
Here's-
just kind of want to get your thoughts
Here's
on
what I
how
think.
you go about
Like, I'm not Cam, but here's what I think. And please correct me if I'm wrong.
No one asked.
Oh my god, fuck you. I'm not talking. Okay, Cam, go ahead. Like, I don't fucking care, bro. Oh, go ahead, Cam. Yeah, I'm not talking.
So my perspective is this, and that's a great point. And when you ask me what separates me from other brands, I don't know, I didn't mention this. It's I don't want to take myself too seriously. A lot of people do, and it can be really annoying, or it can be, and I don't know if annoying is the right word, but just kind of like pathetic. When people just making playing cards and flipping them around take themselves to be, or like, oh, I'm making a statement, I'm sending a message, blah blah blah. It's like you're putting stuff on a piece of paper and flipping them around in the air. This is not some sort of, you know, fine art that's going to be featured anywhere. You're not going to be on the news or anything.
Too squirt. You
You're
like,
not right. There's people put these very serious messages that they believe in into these products at the end of the day, and I don't know, that for something about it doesn't sit right with me. It seems corny, and I very much want Redacted to be something that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's funny, it's sarcastic, it's whatever I'm feeling. I want it to be sort of a representation of my own personality. I sort of want to put my own heart and soul into it, instead of it being like, oh yeah, what would people think is badass? What people think is just like cool. I want it to be more or less
self-aware.
Self-aware, right? That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I love the fact that you take your approach to design is very like weird, because I recall talking with you about it when you showed me the clothing brand. It's the clothing brand, but like I love the ad card because it's like the wackiest font. Like,
But yeah, that's a good example.
yeah,
Even
the
in the deck there,
the emojis, the everything, bro.
you have a very official government-looking logo on one card, and then the next one
Yeah,
is
it's like
a
the
card with
wackiest
a
shit.
stock image with typos,
like
with
the
a card that says that we, you know, Pablo Mexican.
yeah, Pablo Mexican. Not really sure, just an all-around great guy.
That's me. Let it be known, I have two lines on the Redacted ad
And
card.
like-
Nobody else
Two lines,
does.
Lucas
yeah.
one is literally just 6'2", by the way. That's it. It's just like,
The sort of conflict is, it's kind of like, you know, there are two wolves inside you type of deal. It's one is just wants to be a goofball, and the other one wants to produce decks that go hard. So I kind of do both, and I don't know if I'm striking a balance or if I'm just doing both and they're clashing. But at the end of the day, I'm just doing me, man. I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing. And I want an ad card that has Papyrus and Comic Sans and a whole bunch of spelling errors and clip art.
That's what they did in Avatar.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah,
Avatar.
it's the Avatar font. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just want to.
I don't know Avatar.
Shout
Not
out
have-
James Cameron.
You do an Avatar deck. Why not? Make it all sparkly and have hair like touching.
Please stop. Okay. Next question.
we could talk about the state. So you've released one product under Redacted, which has obviously been the MK Ultra playing cards, like you said. And something these took a while to make, right? How long? When did you start? Just walk us through the process of them. You know,
Well, I guess
that
I mentioned that I
time.
wanted to get into playing card design ever since I made my initial account, Advanced Fidget Spinning. So I initially made those back in what must be 2019. So I remember going through my phone's camera roll, and the first image of the MK Ultra font was from April 1st, 2019. So it has been
4 years in
almost
the making.
years. So I'd say about 3 years in the making. Well, because I started the back design before I even got the font. So who knows how long it's been. But it's been in the working for a while. Once I had the original idea of what I was going to do back in 2019, I've been playing, tweaking everything about it till we got where we are now.
Now, if you look at earlier versions, you'll notice that the pattern. So it's a red and yellow pattern, right?
PewDiePie deck.
It's a red and yellow pattern, and earlier versions had sort of more detail on each of the backs, right? But then the final version had almost a more straightforward, even more
Simplistic
back design
approach to it. Yeah.
So what was that like? Why? You know,
Well, my initial approach
yeah.
was I would create, well, I mean, the initial idea from the start. Well, I was first inspired by Elliot Slevin's Redacted paper.
Clouded paper. Great deck.
It's such a
Shout out,
It was
Elliot.
probably my first, I think it was the first cardistry deck I ever purchased. And it was my favorite cardistry deck.
I'm not saying it was real quick sidetrack. I'm not saying it was Elliot Slevin, but at Cardistry Experience 2022, somebody got COVID. Kicked a lot of people out because they were at the event. I think they were one of the headliners because they were one of the more famous cards. I'm not saying it was Elliot, but anyway,
someone.
yeah. Anyways, Ken, go on.
Okay.
MK Ultra.
Yeah. So my one gripe with that was my one gripe. It's a great deck. It still is a great deck. But one thing I didn't like about it, which some people can certainly disagree with, this is my thoughts back in 2019 when I was like basically just starting to get into the cardistry culture that exists, is that the deck didn't have a balance between white and blue aspects to it. So when you would flip through it, there would be different amounts of blue and white, and it wouldn't feel so balanced. So when I created MK Ultra, I wanted it to be an equal amount
of red and yellow.
Red, yellow. So I thought the best way to do that would be a sort of wavy lines, so where each line was weighted the same. So I went about creating I created one back design at a time. So I would sit down, I'd have a blank card in front of me, and I would go through the motions of creating a different wavy back, and I would do whatever in Illustrator or Photoshop that I would do, and then I would move on to the next one. And then I did that 56 times, and then I printed it. I looked at them in person, realized some of the back designs didn't look so good, so I went back and I changed those. Probably created about twice that in total back designs. And then someone
over 100
had the
different back
idea.
designs.
Probably about 100 different back designs they made at a time. Really.
Yeah.
And then someone who I don't remember said, "Hey, why don't you make the uncut sheet one massive wavy pattern?" And I have absolutely no idea how to think of that ahead of time. I wish I did. So instead, I in the time I created one back design, I created one massive wavy texture, and I applied it to each to the uncut sheet, and then cut it up into tiny cards. So that's why the final
smart.
version is right. I know. I wish I thought of it sooner, though. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about it. I wish it came to mind.
Like the first time I handled the deck, I did not notice that, but my brother did, because he took the cards and then he started like joining cards, and he was like, oh, it's just like one big shape, and it was like, oh, I did not knew that. Okay, that's
pretty
smart.
cool.
That's
The more you know.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the difference, because in the original protos, which I'm sure there are images out there online, there are. I know Chris Everson took some pictures. He still has them up on his page. You can see the back designs are a lot more lines per design. They're a lot denser, and there is more depth to each card. But I realized that when you actually move them around, the lines blend together into just like an orange. And that was not the sort of feel I wanted.
I see. Like,
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Adrian. No, you go ahead.
Okay. So that's the story on the backs. And we actually look at the faces; those changed as well. Little,
Yeah.
fun fact: MK Ultra faces originally had bits of the back on one pip, similar to the Anyone checkerboards or the Ace Fulton's Casino. That was a trend at the time. Would you agree? And I'm pretty sure that's why you did it, because almost everybody else did, right? I
Yeah,
even
I
thought
did
that
it
was going to
because
make it into the final print.
what happened was, in the early protos, each face card had one of the pips would reveal the back design that was on the back of that card. And I thought that gave an interesting feel to it. It produced more motion in the faces, but it was certainly a trend at the time. And then,
Kind of like anyone did it with the checkerboards and
with the
so on and so
checkerboards,
on.
and
Everybody
other
and their mom was doing that. Yeah.
I was inspired by the checkerboards to do it, but everyone else also caught on and did the same. And
Shout out Fulton.
that was
Who did it first?
good
Shout
for
out
him.
Fulton.
And that was the sign of the times. And then, of course, I waited, I sat, I went through multiple times of dropping cardistry altogether, deleting accounts, whatever. And then I eventually decided to print it. That time had passed. It had become corny. I think, Adrian, you might have been one of the first people to tell me not to do that. And then I kind of came to my senses and realized, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. However, a bit of that still remains. If you look at each of the court cards, you can see a bit of the back design in each of the courts. So,
which I think
fits a lot
still tasteful. Yeah,
Like,
definitely more
honestly,
tasteful than
like in my opinion, I think that the faces will look better if you have like the back design as the pip, you know, not in like every single one, but like in a few.
kind of like missing does.
Yeah, like missing. You
Yeah,
know,
that's one of those
yeah.
things. It's where, do you want to just be copying the most popular guy? You know.
I mean,
Yeah,
my
'cause
God,
that's
I
what-
did it with misprint, and missing wasn't even a thing. So
It's been a thing.
So yeah, you were there
Right.
first. So that's why
yeah, it was
you
there
can't give
first.
Brad Fulton so much credit. It's because you too did not receive credit for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just take and pick things that I like from people. I do not care if they do not give me credit, because I honestly do not give credit to people I get inspiration from. So you gotta steal. Gotta steal shit and
Sometimes
make
you
it
gotta
your own.
steal.
Yeah.
So that's the story on the backs, the story on the faces. Pretty much everything regarding
Yeah.
the design.
So
What about
What?
the box? Obey, consume, huh, Adrian?
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
The
so
photo. Yeah.
word on the street. It's a very, very loud street.
Really.
Records show that I was one of the first who suggested the text that actually ended up making it on the final print of the box.
Well, the funniest part is that you said that it should be a repeated pattern of obey consume. However, if my memory serves me correct, is because I already had obey consume on the flap, and I think that's where you got the idea from. But that's me. See, of course, memory, just like the word on the streets.
Word on the street. I mean, hey, it's just word on the street. I didn't say any of that.
No, that's just what people are saying. And hey, sometimes people are right. Sometimes my memory's right. Who knows?
I mean,
it's history.
It's a 4-year-old project. You're bound to forget some things. You know what I mean? So.
Right, and people are bound to get caught up in various theories and whatnot. And hey, it happens.
Yeah, but sometimes if you're wrong, like it's okay to admit it. That's what I always say.
That's great. So okay. So when you realize you're wrong, I'm glad that you'll admit that when that time comes.
Yeah.
Like, there could be a possibility of something or someone being wrong. Like
you weren't there.
Right.
You weren't there. You weren't there in 2019.
Claire, where were you in 2019?
Nah, he's not there.
Hard.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested in what do you have planned for the future of your brand, Redacted? Like, what do you have in the next year, in this year, 2024?
This year,
what are your
2024.
plans? Yeah.
Well, I've got I got some more giveaways planned, some more promotions, some more fun games to play. Potential new decks, potential collabs with people. It's all hypothetically speaking. I might have, I will say I have designed other decks. There's currently sitting, either being designed or have been designed, sitting on my computer, and I think people will like them. And will they be released? Who knows? I mean, you know me, I'm lazy. I take years to release things. Will it happen? Will it not? I don't want to make any promises that I can't fulfill, but certainly stay tuned, keep following. Almost certainly a video featuring my moves. I've got some moves I got to release that people have been asking me to release. I'll do that when I can. I hate editing videos.
We all do.
I just need to edit. Yeah.
I love listening to the same bit of footage 350 times in the span of
That's the thing, is I really want to use this song that I love, but I know that by the time I'm done editing the video, I will hate that song and never want to listen to it again. It's tough.
No, so this is potential solo. We're talking, and if I recall, you mentioned that you've just entered the phase of move creation when it comes to cardistry, right? Is that what
I have?
And the reason I think that's so interesting is because we started off the podcast, we're talking about you doing cards and being into cardistry for almost 20 years. Cardistry, let's just say the last 10 years of your life.
Cardistry, I would say 10 is more fair.
So, why do you say that you're considering? Why would you consider you just starting the creation stage or the creation phase of your cardistry career?
Well, initially when I started cardistry, or I guess I started extreme card manipulation, I more or less did it as an extension of Magic. I didn't consider it something I would do on the side or as its own thing. I more or less just wanted it to be something cool I could show to people, to show, hey, which, okay, I will say is not a good idea. If you were doing card magic, you should not let the audience know that you are good at manipulating cards. However, when I started as a teenager, I thought that'd be cool to show, hey, I can do cool one-handed cuts and flips and spreads and whatnot and fans, and I know how to handle cards. So that was my initial approach to it. I didn't say I'm going to learn cardistry. I'm going to learn flourishes to add to being a magician as an extension of that. And it wasn't until college that I really started approaching cardistry as its own thing. So that was only as its own independent thing of Magic. Which,
not as an extension.
You wanted to
precisely.
Right.
Yeah. And then I didn't start considering making my own moves at around that same point too. And of course, the moves I created were garbage. And I still haven't even gotten a great approach to creating moves, but I've created moves that people like, people enjoy, and that I personally believe are quality. So that's why I'm happy now saying that I'm in that sort of move creation mindset.
Are all the designs that you have, because you just told that you have a lot of files on your computer, are they going to be named after like conspiracy theories or like secret government programs and stuff like that? Or
some of them are, some of them are not. I don't want Redacted to be purely government secret projects. I have certainly more plans for that, for decks of the similar nature, but I want it to be more or less a statement of America as a whole and American culture as well. And, you know, not like your typical, oh yeah, streetwear culture in America, because that's so overplayed, overdone. But more or less encapsulating feelings and ideas. And I have more decks planned, more decks designed that were inspired by sort of secret societies and occult beliefs, and that helped form America and sort of live within the details. I don't have a Rothschild deck, and I don't know if I will. If I can think of a good
that will be hard.
I can think of a good parallel to make, it'd be funny. But
that will go hard. Like just a solid gold deck, and it's just like the Rothschild deck.
Yeah,
it would be funny.
Not all of them are, but yeah, parallel.
I remember talking with you about like doing like merch, like actual apparel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans on releasing anything that you might like to share here?
I have ideas, but the thing is, if I were to create clothing or apparel, it would be unlikely that I do things that are like standard. Like I have a logo hat that people like. Maybe I will release that potentially, but that's not something I would consider big. It's something I would consider newsworthy. That would be more or less people wanting to show their support for the brand and that they like it. If I were to do something more serious, which is something I have ideas for, it would be more involved, and it wouldn't be something me just like pressing a design onto a shirt.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just speaking. The thing is, I don't really wear clothing. I've only really just started wearing clothing with graphics. And if I do wear clothing with a graphic, it would need to be something that resonates with me individually to some regard. And I don't know. I don't really care about clothing as much as I care about cards.
Like I just came with an idea for a redacted hat, like a logo hat. You remember that huge hat you bought? There was like a cap.
Yes.
You should do something like that, but it's just redacted, but the text is stretched up, you know? It's just stretched up.
Right, exactly. If I were to create some sort
that
of
will go hard
design, it would be something like that. That's a lot more custom.
Yeah.
Like that hat was not made just from someone buying a blank and printing on it. They had to make their own blanks, which is a lot more involved, which I like a lot more when you could tell someone put a little bit more heart and soul into it.
The actual effort on it.
Right.
That will be hard.
It's almost like to compare it to streetwear, it'd be kind of like the brand Mischief. Like the people who do the big red boots and the blurred money and the, you know, all those viral art projects.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
The White Babies that you actually like see that they are not releasing just like shirts like Supreme or shit like that. They are doing like actual like artwork pieces that people can buy.
But it's also a social commentary, kind of like Redacted is in a way, which is funny to think about. They did this, I think it was called the Lawsuit Grand Prix, where
I saw that.
Yeah, they were putting different copyrighted logos on shirts, and they wanted to see who would sue them first. Yeah, which is, I don't know. We might have to steal that idea.
I think it was a game as well. I think it was people that got the logo of the company that sent them the first cease and desist letter who would win in some capacity. I think that's just so clever.
That's very clever. Comparable.
Yeah, to Redacted. Yeah, honestly, to your brand.
The push the button contest.
Yeah.
You know?
I can say that Mischief was a big inspiration when it comes to how they approach marketing and sort of statements.
I think they're the best to do it, for sure.
Without a doubt.
All right. We'll cut it short because we have been going for like almost an hour and a half, and I think Curtis fell asleep. He's not talking.
No.
He's
He's
going non-verbal, bro. Any words, Curtis?
Giving space for our two guests to speak, because usually we only have one, but now we have two, so might as well lose a host.
Well, we also lost Sarah. She's
enough
been on her phone, so
I did enough behind the
for a
work.
while. I was deemed not important in 2019, so I dropped it.
Oh yeah, she did not like that
God.
comment. I'm gonna spend a few hours making up for that comment. Thanks, Adrian.
Anytime.
Any last few things you would like to share, Cam, Claire, any of you?
Sarah, do you want to start? Do you have anything you want to share?
I guess I want to know all of your guys' favorite moves. Like, what is your go-to move when you grab a deck and you have it in your hands? What do you do first? I get that you might do like a cut first or something, but like
an actual
move. Yeah.
I just grab the deck to see what I usually do. Like, on one hand, I start doing like this thing by Tobias, the Plinko, I think it's called. No, it's not Pincho. I do Pincho on one hand, and I do Mantra on the other hand at the same time. That's basically like what I do. Yeah,
that's cool.
I do. It's kind of like a dog or a small child. You know how you give them like a pat to like check the condition, make sure it's all good. The way I do it is I pick up a deck, I give it a thumb fan.
A child. This guy just hits kids to see if they good.
Yeah, make sure.
I give my kids thumb fans.
Yeah. So yeah, we check the condition with a thumb fan.
Child abuse.
If
the child is good.
Hold on, I actually can't condone child abuse. I have some projects in the works, so it's not good for PR. But
oh my god,
good look.
Good question, Claire.
Yeah.
Curtis, what about you?
Curtis, what about you?
Depends on the deck, but I'm very magic oriented, so sometimes if I just open a USPCC deck, I just use I do the ripping from Jeremy Griffith, because it's a move that's only applicable to like newer decks. Yeah, and I suck at it, so might as well practice it while I have like a new deck on hand. So yeah,
what's something I also do with brand new decks? Lipole spread. That's just like a go-to for a brand new deck. It's like Lipole spread that bitch until they broke in.
Speaking of new decks, Cam, Redacted, new decks coming this year.
Ultra playing cards. Guys, anyone listening to this, if you don't understand, if you don't follow at Redacted USA, one word on Instagram, at Redacted USA, you're missing out. Okay, if you've listened this far and you still don't know what they look like and you still don't have any in your hands, I'm not sure what's wrong with you. Right now, you got to go Redacted USA on Instagram, look at the pictures, tap the link in the bio, and buy some cards. It's such a great deal. First of all, they're printed on bike stock. You got that classic stock USPCC, incredible. We got this traditionally cut, so your ferros are be perfect every time. Pantone inks, so you get that superior feel. People don't know that Pantone inks makes such a big deal when it comes to feel. You pick up this deck, it feels great, brand new. It feels great broken in. Got the 56 different back designs, bright, bold colors, and you look at the box. Are you kidding me? Have you ever seen a box? The box, it's letterpress, it's gloss, matte black, and I swear, as you break in the box, as you rough it up, don't put this box in a carrot case. If you do, and I see you doing that, I will bully you, verbally or physically. As
Why?
You break in this deck,
I have my box in a carrot case.
Well, Pablo, I will verbally bully you later, not on the podcast. But as the box wears in, it gets better. Everything about this deck is just perfect.
Redacted USA does not condone abuse.
Okay, my HR representative is telling me that I do not condone abuse and bullying. So, for the record, I do not condone bullying as a businessman. I will check your DMs after this, though, for an unrelated matter.
So for everyone listening this far, just send
and I should say,
send
Cam
Cam
that if you
a
just
message. And for anyone listening to this far, send Cam a message, and the first, like, let's say 2 people will get a free deck from Cam.
Sure. Just send a message saying, I listened to the end of the Redacted Paperless podcast. I'll send you a free deck. And in addition to all wonderful followers, if you don't make the cut, if you're not the first 2, that's fine. It sucks. But if you go to redactedusa.com and you place an order above $100, use code Adrian with a 1 as the I. Use code Adrian with a 1 as an I. That is ADR1AN, and get 1% off your order. Guys, I'm out here.
100% true.
I'm making sure you guys get good deals. Will my land?
You're basically giving them away for free at that point, bro.
I'm basically at this point. I'm giving them away for free.
We are at a massive loss right now.
It's getting worse. A huge loss. Think about everything I just mentioned. We got the United States Playing Card Company bike stock in a letter Matt Tuck for $15, and I'm going to give you an even better deal by saying 1% off orders of 100 or more.
Like,
I can't go any cheaper than this. You guys are ringing me for the last of my money.
You can buy
just because I care about you.
A McChicken with that dollar.
Those savings.
Yeah, with those savings, you can buy a McChicken.
Basically free food.
Basically free food, bro.
Basically free food if you use code Adrian with the 1 as an I. More
that's so funny. It still cracks me up every time.
And with that, I think this is.
Hold on, I have something to say.
Well, that's too bad. Thank
no,
you guys so
it
much.
has to be with Cam. Like it's related to Cam. You prick.
Oh god.
Misprint flower.
Oh,
coming soon.
Yes, this is secret.
Actually,
probably by the time you're watching this, guys.
Yeah, it's probably out. Yeah,
it's crazy. I cannot control the southern border. The southern border is out of control. Mexican playing cards have made their way to redactedusa.com, and they need homes. They're unhoused, they're undocumented, and they need homes now. So go to redactedusa.com/store/misprint00, and that is misprint without any vowels. 00, and pick yourself up some misprint 00 flower playing cards, Guild Edition as well.
Yeah, if you use coupon code Adrian with a 1 instead of an I, you'll get
1% off all orders over $100.
No, of all orders. Doesn't matter if it's like 1 deck, 2 decks, 3 decks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's being very generous.
You're saving like 1 cent per purchase, but hey, I'm basically giving them away for free at this point, you know.
Oh, that's so generous.
I'm losing money, bro.
You're never going to get such a good deal in your life, so you better capitalize on this today, right now.
Adrian, you need to close down this podcast right now.
I'm trying. I really am.
Let Curtis end the podcast.
Yeah, I
let
think
Curtis
Adrian wants to
end
say
it.
something.
All right. Well, that's going to be another episode for your favorite paperless podcast. Thanks for joining me, everyone, along with my co-host Pablo.
Hey.
Any last words to say? All right. Too bad. Adrian.
Peace. Follow at Adrian Fresno
Oh my
on
god, this guy
Instagram.
about to plug his bro.
Great
But
bars,
not
brother.
before following at
Yo,
Redacted.
bro, we gonna do an episode about you soon. Like,
All right,
chill.
enough from our co-hosts before they start fighting each other. And yeah, our wonderful guests for this episode, our guests rather, Cam and Clara. Do you guys have anything else to say before we close?
Thanks for having us on the show. Thanks for having Claire on the show. Claire, you got anything you want to say?
I just followed you, Pablo.
Oh.
Probably he gained a new follower.
He,
I don't know if
he
Adrian did
didn't.
though, because Adrian said some things.
Oh
But
wait, that's crazy.
thank you guys for having me on, and I can't wait to be on the next
Yeah,
normal episode as a host.
Thank you for allowing me to come on the podcast, even though I'm not a cardistry person. So.
Anytime. You're welcome anytime by the Paperless fam.
But it's really cool, and I'd love to be in a future one for sure.
Oh, Clara
You
just
guys are-
followed Misprint, not me.
Well, we're glad.
I'll hook her up with the new Instagrams, all your
Yeah.
Instagrams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's after. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
thanks
Alright.
for having me on.
And that's a wrap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
stop.